I think that in life, I think there's three main points. Three main points. I'm gonna give you three main points that helps define or categorize people, whether it's athletics, whether it's a job, whether it's art or Arthur or whatever you want to call it. I think there's three different areas where people are defined. Three different definitions I could put on somebody. Three different tags you would say I could put on somebody's life. One, you got a person who has potential. Potential says that you might do it. Potential isn't concrete. Potential just says, okay, he has a little glimpses here, glimpses there. He's a little raw. Maybe with a little coach or something, maybe he can potentially be good. It's potential. It's foreshadowing. It's foreseeing something that you could possibly do in the future. But potential in no way is an end. Potential is barely even a beginning. Potential is really based on somebody else. So somebody else who is successful, they kind of see glimpses of them in you. That's what gives you potential. Potential almost has nothing to really do. It has something to do with you, but you haven't done nothing to really get potential. Potential just says you've done a little something and they see something in you. So if it's athletics, you got good size, you're perfect size for an ideal position. So they say, okay, he has potential to be good at what he do. Now let's see what he do. If it's a job, they say, okay, they look at your resume, okay, the resume look good, whatever. She has potential. The score on your test was good and high, whatever. He has potential to get into the school. If it's a job or you're working or whatever, you show up the first few weeks or whatever, you're doing really good, you're making good connections, you're getting good sales. Oh, he has potential to be a boss one day. And that's what potential is. But see, potential stops after so long, because after so long, if you don't measure up to potential, then you lose potential and you just become a regular person. But potential is nice. Don't get me wrong. Potential is a good start. You want to have potential because potential gives people hope. Potential says, I believe in this person. I hope that they become what they can become. So potential is good, and it elevates you to another level. Potential separates you, but at the same time, you have to keep going. See, now talent is the next point. You see, talent means that you can do it. See, once you're labeled with talented, once you're labeled as, okay, this person is talented, then you're pretty much there. This person is talented. They have talents. And we all have talents. God has given us all talents in all different areas. We just have to find out which area it is. And some of us try different stuff or whatever. We're not as good or whatever. And we're not talented in it. But some of us have talent for basketball. Some of us have talent for football. Some of us have talent for drawing. Some people have talent for speaking, for writing, for acting, for dancing, for singing. We all have different talents. And when you're talented, you're separated from everybody else because everybody else is just doing it. But see, you're talented in it, so it's your calling to do it. You're destined to do it because you have the talent for it. God gave it to you, so it's meant for you to do it. And so you're labeled with being talented. So once you're talented, you've elevated yourself above everybody else. So we know you can do it. It's no question. See, you're past potential because potential says, okay, you look good on the outside. Now let's dig deep and let's get into the book. See, when you got potential, it's just looking at the book. But see, when you're talented, they've read the book. You've read the book and the book is good. And that's talent. So talent is good. Once you get labeled with talented, then you're there. Now the last point, this is what makes you supernatural. This is what makes you extraordinary. This is what separates the billionaires from the millionaires. This is what separates the presidents from the vice presidents. This is what separates success and huge success. This is what takes you to another level. It is 2 words. Hard work. Hard work is the third and most important point that I can give you of the other 2. You see, potential, you're the book. You looked at the book. The book looks great. It looks good. Oh my God, thank you so much. Potential is good. Talent, oh, we read the book. The book is great. It's great. Now, hard work is what happens next. Are there more books? See, talent pans out. Talent just gets you through. Talent gets you through life. You're successful or whatever. If you're in athletics, you can get a scholarship. You might go to college or whatever. You make it through. You might go to the league. You kind of pan out. But see, the people who have put hard work, These are the Pro Bowls, the Hall of Fames, the CEOs, the presidents, the vice president. These are the top of the top. These are the billionaires of the world, or the people who add the hard work. And see, hard work mixed with talent, oh man. I'm talking about this would separate you from everybody else in the world. Because if you're talented and you put the hard work in, then that's a combination that can't be beat. But see, the funny thing, and you got to be careful, because see, the funny thing about hard work is a person who works hard beats a person who's talented any day. I'll pick somebody on my team who works hard over somebody who's talented, because see, talent eventually pans out, because talent that's not tagged with hard work will pan out. See, you eventually flatten out, because while you're up here above everybody else, but if you're just talented and you're not working, then you don't move. While the person who's working and who might not be as talented is down here initially, and you're up here, see, you're just up here, you're floating, and you're talking, and you're thinking you're better than everybody else. But see, a person that works hard, they don't stay here because they're working for something, because they're working to get better. And eventually, while the first day you compete against them, you might beat them and you might smoke them. And you might do the job better than them. You might be a better painter than them. You might be a better worker than them. You might be faster than them, stronger than them. But if you're up here and you're not moving, and they're down here, but they're moving, and 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 they're moving, eventually they get past you. Eventually they move past you, because you're merely staying still while they're steadily moving. They're steadily moving. They're steadily moving to the point to where they surpass you, and they do way more than you ever would do. While you had the potential, and then you showed that you had the talent, see, that only stays still. You got to tag hard work on it, because see, hard work is what makes you grow. That's how you go from being just a potential good looking book to just being a good book to having chains of books. Chains of series of books that are that way. That's what hard work does. Hard work separates you and allows you to keep going when you feel like you stop. You see, hard works make you feel like you could do it when everybody says you can't. You see, hard work says that I can be successful regardless of what I'm given. I don't need anything to be successful. I don't need anything to work hard except my mind. I don't have to have the best facilities to work hard. Because hard work is, you're willing to do hard work no matter what. Because you have nothing to lose. See, when you're working hard, you have nothing to lose. And it's impossible for you to quit because you worked for it. You see, you don't work for talent. See, you're born with talent. So if you're born with good size, which gives you potential, and then you're born with good skills, which gives you talent, see, then you don't have to work for that. So when adversity hits, when crucial times hit, when fatigue hits, then you're not built for anything else, because that all pans out. But see, when you work hard, you push yourself to the limit. So you learn how to use your talent when you're tired. You learn how to use your talent when you're weak. You see, hard work allows you to use your talent when everybody else around you is talented. See, when you put a whole group of talented people together, how do you choose a winner? If I line up a race and I put 6 people who all come in running at the same time, who wins? The person who works the hardest. So if I line up on the line, I get 6 sprinters, and they on one day they all run the same exact time. I go to a meet, I pick the 6 fastest guys, and I give them 5 weeks to come back and run the race. Who's going to win? The person who works the hardest. Because they all ran the same time on this day, but who's going to run the fastest time 5 weeks from now? The person who works the hardest from this day forward. And that's how you got to go into every life. That's how you got to go into every day of life thinking. That while I might be equal to somebody else, everybody else out there is working. So how do you know when you've done enough? How do you know when you worked hard enough? Because that job that you're applying for, there's millions of other people in the world who feel like they deserve it, and they're out there working for it. And you don't know how hard they're working, so you can never stop working. So just when you think you've made it, just when you think you're talented, just when everybody's told you that you're good and you're great and you're awesome, just when you think that, somebody else is being told that they're terrible, that they suck, that they're never going to be anything, and that's motivating them, and they're moving, and they're looking at you. You got a bullseye on your back if you're talented, because they're looking at you saying that, oh, they think this person is talented? Okay, why? Oh, he's good, but don't get me wrong, I'm going to be better than him. So it's a challenge to people who are talented to continue to build on what their talent is, so they can't stop. They can't say talent is enough. You have to work hard. You have to add hard work on top of it. Talent only gets you there, but it takes you nowhere. It only takes you so far because eventually talent will take you to a level where everybody's talented, and then you have to separate yourself, and that separation is hard work. How hard are you willing to work to be great? That's the question. How hard are you willing to work? Are you willing to lose friends? Are you willing to lose sleep? Are you willing to lose time? Are you willing to lose money? Are you willing to lose everything you got to be what you want to be? Are you willing to do that? Until you're willing to do that, then you'll just be talented, or you'll just have potential. Until you're willing to work hard, to make sacrifices, to do what you need to do to get to where you want to go, you will remain the same. And somebody will always beat you. And I'm not saying hard work and talent put together. Sometimes you will get beat just because that's part of life. But I'm saying to become the best person that you can be, to live life in an enhanced way, you have to be willing to work hard. And so even if you're not talented, work hard, you can still get past the person that's talented. I remember playing football, and I was a football player. I never was a football player. I didn't play football. I just go out there and I started playing. I was small. I was one of the weakest guys on the team. And I remember I used to get so embarrassed because I didn't want to work out because all the guys used to laugh at me and pick on me, and I could barely even lift the bar. I could barely do 135. I couldn't even do 135 pounds when I first started playing. I was doing 95 pounds, 85 pounds. It was girls who was lifting more than me. And I used to get laughed at, and I started skipping with sets because I didn't want them to laugh at me. I remember going home talking to my mom, and she said, "Who are you? How are you defined? Who defines you? Do you define you, or do they define you? Which one? Are you willing to not work hard because of somebody saying something to you? Are you willing to lose your effort and your focus because somebody else is laughing at you? Are you worried about what they're saying, or are you focused on what you're saying? Which one?" And I went from that day on, and I thought, and I said, she's right. They don't define me. They don't say whether I'm going to make it or not. They don't say whether I'm going to be a good player or not. I control that because it's my body. It's me. So I started saying, hey, I'm going to do what I can do. I'm going to lift the weight that I can lift. If 85 pounds is as much as I can lift, then I'm going to lift 85 pounds until I get up to 95. And then once I get to 95, I'm going to keep going until I get to 115. While they might be at 250, 230 or whatever, I can't control that. That's something that's out of my control. We have to learn in life, what can you control and what can't you control? You can't control what nobody else doing, but you can control yourself. I can work hard in my own skin. I can do what I can do to make myself better. I can't control them. And that's what I had to learn. And I remember one day they was going at me hard, and I started looking around and noticed, and I was like, every day I come in this weight room, all of you guys are looking at me. You're all watching me, trying to see what I'm doing, trying to get a laugh out of me, trying to get a joke off of me. And while you're sitting here watching me, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So you're watching me get better. I say, so you're watching me get better than you. And they used to laugh and think it's a joke. Whatever, man, you'll never get better than me. And I said, listen, and it wasn't a cocky statement at all, but it was a confident statement. Because I had built confidence, and I knew that my goals and my dreams could be accomplished if I worked hard. And I could make statements like this because I knew that I could make it if I continue to work hard. And I said, when I leave this school, I'm going to be one of the best people to ever do it. And they thought I was joking. And at the time, I probably, even in my mind, in my mind and in my heart, I knew that I could do it. But, you know, it was times mental. It was a mental challenge because I'm thinking on one side of my mind, I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's a bold statement. On the other side, you can do it. And I listened to the bold side that said you could do it. And I made that statement, and I made a pact to stay after practice. I caught 200 passes a day after practice. I did extra sets in the weight room. I didn't skip a weight room set. I didn't skip a film study. I didn't take a day off. I didn't do it because I knew that I had to get better. I couldn't afford to take a day off because there's somebody out there that was working, that was willing to work every day. And I had to work every day, 2 times a day sometimes, because I had to be better than the person that was trying to get to where I was going. And I didn't know the person. And that's the thing, you don't know who's working harder than you. While I knew I could get past the guys who I saw, although they were 10 steps ahead of me, I knew I could get past them because I could see them. I could see where they was at. But see, it was bigger than them. It was even bigger than them. I wasn't doing it for them. I was doing it for myself. And that's what you got to understand. You have to want it for yourself. You have to want to be better because you want to be better. You have to want to be great because you want to be great. You have to choose and make that decision to where you want to be in life. If you want to stay in poverty, you want to be average, then that's your choice. But you have the ability to choose how good you want to be with your decision making. Because every decision we make in life isn't going to be the best. We've all made decisions that weren't the best decision, but that decision doesn't mean that that's it. You can decide how good you want to be. You have that ability. Nobody else. And I can remember, and I said that, and I left school, and I was a Division I football player, and I have been in college, and I did good or whatever, and I'm getting bigger and stronger and faster every day of my life. But I made a decision on that day that I wasn't going to deal with it anymore, that I wasn't going to make excuses, that I wasn't going to use the fact that I only played for 2 years and that I had messed my knee up. I wasn't going to use that excuse as to why I couldn't make it. Because, see, the world will give you an excuses. The world will give you an scapegoat because they don't want you to go anywhere. Nobody in the world wants to see you be great because they don't want to be great. They don't want to see that. So the world will give you a bunch of excuses. Oh, nobody else in your family did it. You're fine. It's no big deal. You aren't good enough. You aren't fast. You got to be born with that kind of speed. You just weren't born with it. You got to be born with that kind of size. You just weren't born with it. You were meant to be skinny. Nobody in our family ever went to college. We just we're a trade family. We're a technical family. We get out and do hands-on type stuff. The world give you all kind of excuses. Oh, you from a small town, don't mean nothing. You from a single parent home. Your parents passed away. That's it. You got raised by your grandma. You come from the projects. Or you don't have to work. Everything's gonna be handed to you because your dad's, your family's rich. They're gonna pass the business down to you. That gives you no excuse. That's an excuse to do nothing, to be average. That's an excuse to be average. And the world accepts that. The world will accept that because they don't want to see you get ahead. Because, see, the more people that are willing to live average, it opens up more opportunities for people who are trying to be successful. See, if everybody in this world was trying to be successful, then America would be a much better place. Because if everybody in the world had ambition and was inspired to be great and to be successful, you wouldn't have to worry about all of the violence. You wouldn't have to worry about all the other stuff. While things are going to happen and stuff like that, you can't control that, and I'm not trying to change everybody in the world, but if we had more people that was willing to live successful, that wanted to push for something, you wouldn't have to worry about all the stuff that go on. You won't have to worry about as much poverty or whatever. While poverty in some situations are hard to control, but if we was to get up and we realize that our life isn't defined by our situations, if we used to get up and to make the most of our situations and make the best of our situations and learn how to raise our kids, raise our families, raise our environments, raise our communities in a way to where everybody understands that you have a decision to make as to whether you want to live a successful life or not. If we used to learn to live like that and stop making excuses for every reason why we're in the situation we're in, then the world would be a much better place.